I don't want them to see me smoking. Not to the Zoom. We live?
Man, why I keep telling y'all, man? Y'all need to stop.
Oh, yeah. JAII.Renoylds.
Since it's up, then it's stuck. Why don't you aim at the totem pole? Get a golden
Little song
goal.
called
Maybe
Stuck Up.
then you would know the roads. Walk Since your daily mantra is your latest quotes. Follow in their footsteps, who you think that you paving for. I guess we should watch that Viola Davis show. Make them all mad and you Hall of Fame go in OP mode. You better rope the dope. You the dopest, bro. Man, I'm the one y'all can't fuck with. You better pipe down with all that up. Then it's stuck shit. You just stuck up, bitch. I hope they bob and weave instead of buying bob and weave. That seems to be a common thing, man. Avoid the common things. I swear. They'll weigh you down. They don't care.
I swear.
That's how they claim that they was there. I swear. The whole world.
Just giving a little time for everybody to come in.
But it's clear that y'all.
Oh, yeah.
When I was marching my way up the totem pole. Man, they throwing bows and they ducking poles. It's like a game of limbo, how I'm going low. Put the team on my back, said fuck the coach. Man, I'm the GOAT, and in Mamba mode. Marching my way up the totem pole. Man, they throwing bows and they ducking poles. It's like a game of limbo, how they going. Put my team on the back, said fuck the coach. Man, I'm the GOAT, and in Mamba mode. Y'all be one hit wonders, make that shit stop. Your little 15 seconds is fame is up, man. TikTok. This is your welcome to hip hop. Thinking about how y'all got here, man, it's so exhausted. Mumble rappers on that show, but shawty, this that jam when it's just another throwback anthem. Simple so much I can't even tell you what's the sample. I'm bringing bars back. Say it with your chest or have a heart attack. Y'all ain't got the heart for that, and I know I got the heart to match. I know niggas in the hood with extenders, play dance and play limbo. You pull up his no memento, and this ain't for nothing but lately niggas moving snow, and I ain't even bluffing. These days I'm feeling like I'm David Ruffin. When it hit the fan, the world ain't spinning no more. It's on fire. Hell froze over. Life closing in. You can't be sober for closure. I never sweat. I can't pull over.
You want some headphones?
It's culture. Zip them up now. It's a baddie bag order. Take the mask off, revealing they poser. My palm itching to go getting closer. But I'm bred different. You can't imagine where I've been. I slip through the noise. I can't rest when it's silent. I'm marching my way up the totem pole. Man, they throwing bows and they ducking poles. It's like a game of limbo. How I'm going low. Put the team on my back. Said fuck the coach. Man, I'm the GOAT. And in Mamba mode. Marching my way up the totem pole. Man, they throwing bows and they ducking poles. It's like a game of limbo, how they going. Put my team on the back and said fuck it. Candy.
Swag Bandits in the building.
Candy. Yeah. That's me, boys. Bandit life. All right. Candy. Oh my God, like candy. Shawty talking something that I do not think is candy. Candy. Oh my God, like candy. What a sight to see, looking sweet like candy. Candy. Oh my God, like candy. All these different flavors looking like a bag of candy. Oh my girl, like candy. Shawty thinks delicious. Like these hoes sweet unless they taste like candy. Young king, no Jamie, but I need something that is fancy. She wanna ball. The type of nigga bringing in a Grammy. For me to get a taste, I jack, son. Brandon, this bitch is a trip. She a good actor. She got on her knees.
Ace Boogie.
Like a air
You know him better as West Side One.
That's where the clashes. And all we do is smoke and fuck.
That's rappers in action.
She said, let's smoke right now. I told her, beat me up, Scotty. First moving like a worm. I'm talking Scotty too. Hey, she got that warhead, pussy sweet as rain. Poppy, can you hear me? Do you copy? It get sticky, it get sloppy. Tell them my love. Do you ever Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Pops. I just wanted to pop in real quick. Hey, play our words. Pops from Pops Gems. You know, coming up, we got Pops Perspective.
Let's tell you what it is, tell you what it ain't. Giving you the real, we'll never do the fake. Life is a gift, but sometimes we need guidance. Pops Perspective, always perfect timing. Call that alignment. Yeah, he gon' drop them gems.
Pops Gems.
You know he really him. It's something about his confidence that lets you know he hasn't seen.
You don't want to miss. Don't beat me there. Beat me there. Pops Perspective, Monday night.
Jalen, I see you in the building. Shout out to my boy PL. I see you. Oh yeah, welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is Pop from Pop's Perspective, also known from Pop's Gems. You may have seen me on Blunts and Bonnets. Shout out to the Blunts and Bonnets crew. We are in the building. We are ready to start another show, and boy, do we got something in tune for you. Yeah, part 2 of Are You Walking in Your Purpose? Let me do this. Let me pay a couple bills before we get started. First and foremost, shout out to God, who without him, none of this would be possible. We want to mention again B&B, the B&B crew. They come on Tuesday nights. They're in their off season right now. They'll be on tomorrow night with an all season topic, trick or treat, for all you trick or treaters. And of course, Exotic Pops. I can't not mention Exotic Pops. I don't know if you can see behind me. They got some stuff coming out. Shout out to Lefty and my man True. Excuse me. True got multiple hats. He's on B&B, he's a model and part of Exotic Pops. So you know he busy. Well, y'all excuse my voice. Let me get it right. Also, we have a shout out to Lakai Holmes. That's I wish y'all had smell-o-vision. Y'all could smell the fragrance in here. My cameraman left hand, Lacey is in here, lefty, and he can smell the aroma. Boy, we got it going on. We gave away a candle, and I had an opportunity to speak with the young lady. She did get it, and she said that when she opened the box, it made her tingle. I don't know. It got some special scents in there, and so we want to thank Lakai Holmes for partnering with Pop's Gems and putting together the candle Perspective. You can get yours at lakaiholmes.com. If you tell them Pop sent you, you get 10% off. And it is handmade. The jars are handmade. This is exclusive, top of the line. So Lakai Holmes with the candles. Make sure you speak to her and get on the website and get your candle. It's called Perspectives. Also, JAII.Renoylds, and the producer and the sound behind Pop's theme song and the entrance for Pop's Perspective. Shout out to her. Cozy Lifestyles, good friend, good followers, good supporters. And then, of course, my most important shout out is you, and you. I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We just giving a moment here to get my co-host or my guest in. We're going to do a little recap from last week, and then we will get into, there she is. Then we will get into the show. I'm going to talk about some things. So, all right. I'll see you, Jay. Cameraman, get me right. All right. Let me do this while we working for that. Let me just do this because I would be remiss if I didn't do this here.
Beautiful people. Herbs in the building. I see you. Pops, I like the color of your shirt.
Okay. Let's see that.
Sunny as hell.
Right.
Yeah, the sun's not gonna go down for like another hour here. We be having mad
Give me
time.
just a moment.
You better say hi to me. Hi, boo boo. Oh my God.
All right. Let me get it right now. Let me
Get it right here, Tut. What is that phrase? Get it right here.
Yeah.
Just talk about that. It's been a long time. I should have left you without a strong rhyme to step to. Think of how many weeks shows you slept through. Time's up. I'm sorry I kept you thinking of this. You keep repeating your miss. The rhymes on the microphone solo is. So you sit by the radio, hand on the dial soon. As you hear it, pump up the volume. With the speaker till you hear it go. Yeah, in the headphones, here it go. It's a four-letter word.
I give y'all one on Thursday.
Your body to dance. So, dot text a tempo like a red alert. Reaches your reflex and let it work. When this is playing, you can't get stuck with the steps. So you say, and I'ma still come up with a gift to be swift. Follow the leader, the rhyme will go deaf with the record that was mixed a long time ago. It could be done, but only I can do it. For those that can dance and clap your hands to it.
Yes, sir. I gotta give my props to Rakim, the God Rakim himself. Again, I don't expect any copyright problems. I know him personally, good friend of mine. I'm not boasting. I'm just saying, in case IG start IGing. All right. I got my guests in the house. They here. They in the building.
Whoop, whoop.
I see them. Cozy Lifestyles, the partner, the dynamic duo, the illustrious, world-renowned. I have Goddess Adina in the building, and Jay Jay, look, you got such a long introduction. We only got an hour for the show. By the time I tell them everything you can do, good God Almighty, the show be over. But nevertheless, I'm so thankful for y'all joining in. Y'all clap it up for them. Give it up for them. Yeah. So, talk to me. Tell me something. How was your day? Are you excited? Are you ready for part 2?
I am excited. I'm super excited for part 2. My day was amazing. You can't hear me?
Well, I guess if I turn it up, I might could. Try that again. I can hear you now.
Yeah,
I can hear you now.
There we go. All
it
right,
works
all
better
right.
when you turn the volume up.
Okay,
I was
we're
talking to me. I was
troubleshooting,
talking to
we're
me.
learning.
I was talking
We're
about me.
troubleshooting, we're learning.
No, it was.
You worked with our
me.
tech issues on Thursday. It's only right that we come back and return the energy. Okay.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I am so glad that y'all are here tonight for part 2. I was honored just for y'all to be here last week for part 1, but things got a little thick and complex, and so we had to do a part 2. So we are going to jump right in without further ado. Purpose. We talked about purpose. I just want to do a quick recap. I'm gonna need these. I need these. There we go. All right. Purpose is the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. So everybody in the world, everybody has a purpose. You weren't just put here to look cute. I'm just saying.
Period.
So in going through life, you have to kind of discover your purpose, find your niche, if you will. I think that's a cliche thing. Find your niche. So last week we talked about developing a growth mindset. You got to get your mind right. You got to get your mind focused on what it is you're going to do. And the mind is a treacherous thing, because if you let it wander, it'll lead you places you really don't need to go.
Period.
We'll do a show on that. And then, of course, you got to have a personal vision statement. Don't just go off of the cuff. Write it down. Plan your work out and then work your plan. Get a schematic going of what it is that you want to do. Like I told y'all before, in Hollywood, the way they make the movies is they do the end scene first, and then they do the beginning. Y'all seen that the Marvels thing? They already got another movie out. Quiet as kept. That movie was already made, waiting. Y'all, we just got exposed to bits and pieces leading up to that. Right. So same thing with your vision statement. You got to see yourself at the end. You got to see yourself as a success. If you want to be a millionaire, then act like a millionaire. Yeah. Walk around with millionaire mentality, and then you'll attract millionaires. I wish I had some help. It's all in your mindset. Your mind, if you tell yourself, like they tell children over and over, repetitively, they start to believe it. Right. Well, if you speak that into the universe, you're setting forth the action, and then now it starts to manifest. And we was on listening to Cozy Lifestyle. In case y'all missed it, go to the page. They had a gentleman on there, artist 12, if I'm not mistaken. My memory serves. See, 25th. Okay, well, I'm sorry. That's when he was younger, 12. He grew up now. He's 25. But he was on, and he great show talking about manifestation, and your mind is a very deadly weapon, and when used correctly, it can do some fabulous things. So get your mindset right, and then get your personal vision statement. Also, number 3, we talked about giving back. You know, you gotta sow that. I talked about don't eat your seed core. In other words, when you get to where you're going, don't forget to reach back and help someone else along. Give back because you've been blessed to be a blessing. The tree never eats its own fruit. I've said that before. The fruit is for the people. So when you start producing fruit, don't get mad if somebody come and pluck off of your tree. That's what they're supposed to do. So you can grow some more fruit. And then, of course, practice gratitude. You always got to be thankful. Thank you makes room for more. You got to remember that people don't have to give you their time, their talent, their treasure. You don't have to be here. Things don't have to go as good as they are. So keep an attitude of gratitude. Get your mind humble. It's very important. That way you can your head's not so high in the clouds that you can't you can't see the forest for the trees. Or like I used to say, your head's so high in the air, if it rains, you'll drown. Think about it.
Straight into your nose. I'm good. That's not even like drowning. That's like getting waterboarded.
Yeah. It's like, it's crazy. All right, and then turn your pain into purpose. Turn your pain into purpose. Anything that you go through, or let me just say it this way. I love using analogies. The hardest thing about riding a bike is the ground. You hit that ground, you fall off that bike enough, you gonna learn how to ride the bike, or you gonna leave it alone. One of the two. But what you'll do is you'll learn, and you'll turn your pain into your purpose. Amen. All right, we moving. I said amen like we in church. I'm sorry. It's just in me. And then, of course, number 6, we ended up in, and then I'm gonna give my guest an opportunity to talk about last week a little bit. Explore your passions. You got to know what you like. You got to know what it is that ignites you, if I could say it that way, in every facet of the word. There's a book I'm reading now called Psychological Triggers, and basically what the book does, it teaches you to learn yourself so that when things happen, you know how to respond. Right. Being meek does not mean you're weak. Being meek simply means that you have the power to deal with the situation, but you also have the wisdom on how to apply that power. Everything don't merit a response. You don't have to answer to everything. They always say pick your battles, but it's very important that you explore your passions and get to know you, and get to know what you like and what you don't like. There's a show coming up called Work is a 4-letter word. When you go to a job and you enjoy doing that, it's not work. You're doing what you enjoy. You're just getting compensated for that, and then you'll do it with more drive. There's a lot of people get up in the morning and boy, they dread going to work, but you ought to be thankful for that job, because it's the bed you getting out of. The job helped you get that bed. Right. And when you turn that light switch on and the lights come on, that job helped you to pay the light bill. I'm just talking. Pick them up. I'm dropping nuggets.
Every time.
So explore your passions and know what it is. And then, and I say this a lot too, listen to what people say, but don't care about what they think. And what I mean by that is you cannot be so closed-minded that you're not open to hear other people's criticism or other people's comments. Now, you're not going to agree with everything, but there's a choice of what you can do. You have more opportunities, and everybody that is speaking into you, somebody, every now and again you get somebody that really cares, and they're going to give you a genuine opinion. But just, you gotta watch them haters. Haters are like enemies and footstools. My son, Isaiah, the one of the songs he plays, every stone they throw at me, I use as a stepping stone. And you got people that they say they love you, but their actions, you got to watch actions. I think somebody asked me, how do you know? How do you sense other people? How do you know? Well, actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
You know, I said it before. You know, you step on my toe the first time, you say I'm sorry, okay, but not 3, 4 times. Your actions ain't matching what's coming out your mouth.
Fool me
And
once,
so
shame on you. Fool me twice, that's on me.
yeah. So and that's where we at. That's number 6. So at this point, I'm gonna ask Miss God.isadina if she will give her feedback on last week, and then we'll get to Jay. Jay will give us some feedback, and then we're gonna jump right into the last 6 points, and then I have a bonus point for you as well.
Ooh, I didn't know there was a bonus. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
I got
excited.
a little bonus. I got an email. You know, I got to add an amendment
A little
to the
amendment.
show, but
Okay.
yeah, but it's gonna serve its purpose. All right, talk to me. Last week, what you think? What are your
Y'all
thoughts?
better stick around till the end for the bonus. Y'all, Jay will be back in a second. She got a call that she has to take right now, but last week was amazing. I think the point that I want to bring back to the forefront as we get into the second half of this, or just to kind of give a synopsis for anyone that missed it, something that I love. For those of you that don't know, I was a competitive gymnast growing up. And one of the first things that we learn as in gymnastics is how to fall. They don't teach you, it's not about balance, it's not about stand this whole time. It's how to fall without hurting yourself. And I think that that's such an important concept to be able to apply to your life in whatever you're attempting, in teaching yourself how to fall without quitting, how to fall without getting down on yourself, how to fall without deciding that that failure means that you are insecure or you can't do it or you're not good enough or all those other things. But that fundamental lesson and learning that in the physical sense has done so much for me, as not only as an entrepreneur but as an individual, with not necessarily, it's not about not being afraid of falling, because it's scary when you try to do things and you may or may not fail, and when you do fail, it's not a great feeling. But I learned how to do that gracefully through that process, and I think that that's something that's very important for anyone that is looking to walk in their purpose, that's looking to walk, you know, in their creative passion, that's looking to be an entrepreneur, or that is currently any of those things. It's important for you to know how to fall without that completely deterring or completely throwing your path offline.
Okay, all right. Now, last week we went over the 6 points, and you had a chance to kind of think about the discussions that we had. Michael, and your show comes on Thursday nights. Let me let y'all know, Thursday nights, Cozy Lifestyle. But the thing about Cozy Lifestyle is you got to DM because it's on Zoom.
Yes.
So it's like invitation only. Not that we bougie, but Zoom sometimes gives us a better platform, and it filters out the control factor. IG don't start IG, and I'm just saying. You know what I mean? So Cozy Lifestyle, they come on Thursday night. So the question I have is, of the 6 topics that we had, or the 6 subjects, or the 6 ideas, however you want to put it, did you have a chance to implement? Did anything, you know, while during the week go on and you say, oh, yeah, that's what we was talking about?
I think for me, this weekend was definitely, so when we talked about exploring your passions, I think that's definitely something that I did this weekend, and not in the sense of like not knowing my passion, but in the sense of getting to know more things that were my passion. So I ended up taking like 2 or 3 different master classes this weekend that introduced me to new and different ways that I can put content out there, and new and different ways that I can do business inside of Cozy. And I think that was a part of exploring my passions for me, which was really, really fun. I was locked in for probably like 10 hours on Saturday, like 8 on Sunday. It was great.
Let's try morning to night.
Okay, maybe it was a little longer.
Time evades us when we're having fun. But you know, it's you know, in anything, the terminology practice makes perfect. You have to spend time. I've learned as a speaker, I go back and I listen to myself, not because I want to hear what I said, but I want to hear what I said, if that makes any sense. And then I want to critique myself. Oh, maybe I shouldn't say that, or maybe I should do this, or maybe I should do that. It's just like with the setup with Pop's Gems. There's more coming. It's under construction, but I wanted to have some. I'm from New York, born in Manhattan, raised in Brooklyn, and you could take the New Yorker out of New York, but you can never take the New York out of the New Yorker
Never ever.
ever. So I thought about the backdrop and I thought about those things, but you have to constantly self analyze, because like I said, there's and for those that don't know, I might be getting ahead of the topic, but there's a war inside of you. Um, when you see the TV and you see the movies and the little devil pops up on one side and the angel pops up on the other, there's a war going on in you, because your spirit man, your inner man, and it's not necessarily religious. This is just the truth of the matter. Your inner man is constantly at war with your flesh. You ever been to a point where your flesh says, I'm tired, hit the snooze button one more time, and your inner man says, no, we got a meeting today, we got to be at work. No, get up out the bed. And your flesh may crave something, and then you're trying to do something else. So there's always a war, and you have to stay on guard, because we are our own worst enemy when it comes to doing things. We are our best encouragers, and we're our worst enemy at the same time. So you got to keep that in check. And then I said this before, you have to have a thermostat mentality. And what that means is, when you go in a room, you are the thermostat that sets the temperature of the room, not the thermometer that measures the temperature of the room. You don't worry about what's going on there. When your presence comes in, you should have such a presence that not so much people stop and look, but your presence is made known. Why? Because you are aware of your surroundings. You're using your insight and your intellect and your spirit of discernment to read the room. Because this is not that you're all of that and all of this, but you're protecting yourself. You have to constantly be on guard, because like I said before, we are flesh, but we're also spirit. And if you was to put on some spiritual glasses, you would see the war that's going on. There's a lot of forces that don't want to see you make it, and so they made a movie called Gremlins. I'm telling you that the evil forces is real, and there's some haters out there. And so you got to guard yourself. You got to protect yourself. Jay, last week, what from last week kind of stuck with you? Kind of maybe opened up an eye, or maybe give you a different perspective.
Dang. Okay. So I think for me, just really finding confirmation in my quote unquote long journey of following my passions, and really figuring out what that was for me. Like I said last week, fighting these wars within myself, family, other people working in corporate who didn't quite understand what it was that I was doing and why this was the path that I chose to take. So really going, like, finding that confidence, getting my confidence back in like what it is that I'm doing. Cause like, I'm not gonna lie, I lost that for a while. So I think I really took that away, and I appreciate you for real, because, I've been kind of teetering these past couple months, and that was really like, as my granny would say, a kick in the tail. You feel me?
Well, I'm elated that and that's the whole mission for Pop's Perspective. I want to have people on the show. I want to have people that and topics that makes you kind of scratch your head and think and do a self-examination, or examine whatever it is that you're going on. Because like I said, you go through this life once, and whatever imprint you leave is your legacy. And so you have to be careful of, like I say, haters going to hate, people going to talk. But as long as, they talking, a lie going to die, but the truth will stand forever. You can outlive a lie, okay, but the truth is going to last forever. And so, let them talk, let them talk. My mother said they going to talk about you all the time. As long as they don't put their hands on you, let them talk. So I'm not condoning violence by any means. I don't want nobody to go out and then shoot somebody, stab somebody. Put the gun down. Put the gun down. Okay.
Relax.
But or don't shoot, what they said. But you have to have a sense of knowing. And every now and again, you got to rejuvenate. This walk along life is not it's not easy. And especially when you're striving to do things, I don't want mediocre. I just can't settle for mediocre. I gotta give everything 100%. I may not make it the first time, but I'm gonna keep going. And at the end of the day, I'm the one that I gotta go to bed with. I'm the one that I gotta wake up with. I'm the one that I see when I look in the mirror, and I want to be able to say, well, you know what, you gave it your best. If you're that determined, regroup. You know, look at your system. Look where you went wrong. Look where you made some mistakes. Let's patch those holes up and let's get back on the bandwagon. And it takes a lot because sometimes it does get discouraging. And that's why you got to have a great support system that's going to know you better than you know yourself and tell you, okay, you effing up. All right, that's not you. You better than that. And when you got that kind of support system around you, it helps you to stay on track, if that makes any sense. All right, walking in your purpose, part 2. Let's get to the number 7. Number 7 is being part of a community. Being part of a community. Being part of a community, and that doesn't necessarily mean a community like where you live. In that aspect, you could be, if you're an artist and you sing, be a part of a community of singers. You know, support other people, encourage other people. Remember, you're planting seeds. Be part of a community. It will help you because it gives you a feeling of being connected. And so being an active member in something in the community can contribute to a greater sense of purpose. If you know that, you bake the best apple pie and you just bake them and you go out and you feed the homeless or whatever, you're using the talent and the gifts that you got to help other people. And that gives you a sense of fulfillment in your purpose. Grandma didn't just give you that recipe for nothing. She gave you the recipe to make some pies. And then, like I told you, the fruit is not for the person. You can eat a little piece of the pie, but mainly you're doing it for other people. So fulfillment and being part of a community. Also, when you find your purpose, you'll discover that there are many others out there that share your passion. No man is an island. So, you might go somewhere and volunteer or whatever the case may be, and then you'll find somebody else, kind of like y'all two. You'll find somebody else, and then you'll find you got like passions and you got similarities, and then this, that, and the other. And then I'm not saying that you're gonna meet your soulmate. I'm just saying you're gonna meet somebody that's gonna help you, that has the same vision, has the same ideology. I hear music.
Sorry,
okay.
That was me.
No, that's okay. It's okay. I thought we was gonna dance for a minute. Hey, all right.
I had an alarm go off on accident.
That's all right. So you'll find a sense also when you find your purpose, you'll discover that there are many others who share your passions, interests, and values. And that's very important because, and I know I'm older, but I hold a set of values and a set of morals. And even at any age, you as an individual have a set of values and have a set of morals. And when you run into somebody that's contradicting to that, it's a friction, and if you cannot agree to disagree or walk on the same road and agree, it's just going to cause undue stress. And if you don't vent the stress, it'll manifest in physical ailments. Listen to me, I'm telling you something. I'm not trying to get anything from you. I'm trying to get something to you. You have to be surround yourself, like I said before, with people that are like-minded. Joining a community or creating a community allows you to find the sense of connection with others as you work together toward a common goal. Cozy Lifestyles is in that era, and that's why it was on my heart to have them on the show, because they're doing something. Yes, they're doing it, but the benefactors, the beneficiaries, are the people that they're trying to bring together as a network. So what's going to happen? They're going to get satisfaction by being able to sit back and say, I helped that one because they connected to that one, and we gave a space, and then they connected, and it's like a big old puzzle. Mm-hmm. And for those of you that do puzzles, you do the outside first, you set your framework, and then you just add pieces anywhere they fit, little by little, and then all the pieces will come together, and you'll have the big puzzle. Right. But it took you building the foundation first, and then looking for those pieces. And sometimes you'll think a piece fits here and it don't, and it fits over there. So that being said, also have to be careful. Put people in your life in their place. And what I mean by that, I don't mean that as a checkmate type of scenario. I mean that as put them in the place in your life where you're going to profit the most and they're going to profit the most. Yeah. You don't take a screwdriver to hammer in a nail. It might can work, but it's not designed for that. Does that make any sense? So you're going to use the hammer to hammer in the nail. Now, if you got a screw, then you use the screwdriver. Does that make sense? I'm trying to make an analogy. So when you got people in your life that are surrounding you and they're helping you along with your vision and your purpose, then utilize them in the capacity where they can best with serve you and you serve them, because this is not a one-way street. Okay, you have to walk with and be open to other people, because you never know who you're around or who you're talking to, what they can, how they can benefit you. You know what I'm saying? You might be sitting next to a multimillionaire looking to invest in something,
Never know.
and you never know till you open your mouth and socialize. So being that being said, also be confident. Don't be scared to go out there. Any comments
Yeah,
on the community?
I was gonna say, before you move on, I think something that people don't talk about a lot when we talk about purpose and like finding your passion, it's spoken about as a feeling. It's always about, oh, the thing that you love the most and it's gonna drive you and you're gonna be driven by all these feelings. And there's an aspect of that that is important to your purpose and your passion, but there's also a really large aspect of your purpose and your passion that has nothing to do with how you feel, and it has everything to do with your discipline. And that's where community comes into play. There, we spent the last few years, trying to figure out where our purpose really lied and what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it, and spent a lot of those years inactive because we didn't have a community around us. And now that we've started taking steps and the community is starting to come because we've put out what it is we want and who we want to be around, now even on the days where I'm not feeling my purpose that day, I'm not feeling my passion that day, I don't feel like getting up to do X, Y, and Z, but I know I have a community that is either there depending on me, or that's going to be there for me, or that's just going to be like, hey, you know what, I get that feeling too, like, what do you need, how can we help, like, how do we reel you back, whatever. There's always that energy. And especially if I don't feel like it and I go to, write an email to the community, by the end of that email, I feel better. Or I get on and I post a story or make a reel, by the end of making that post or that story, I feel better. So that community has a large aspect in being able to drive your discipline outside of the feelings of your purpose and your passion that everybody talks about, because that's, I don't know, like a 60-40 split in my opinion. Like it's a good 40% feeling, yeah, but there's a solid 60% of that that's straight discipline. And a community is a really, really powerful driver to that, because no matter what anyone says, you don't get anywhere alone, number one. And number two, we do things better when we're doing it for other people. There are some people that do things the best when they're doing it for themselves, and love that for you. That's great. That's the power of knowing yourself. But I know that a large majority of us, and especially our particular community of like creatives and entrepreneurs that are passion led and heart led, they're driven by doing things for other people. And when you build a community that's based on your values and your purpose, then you're going to get that discipline factor a little bit easier, in my opinion.
Okay. I was looking for one word. You was dancing around it.
What was the word?
Accountability.
Yes, that
accountability.
It is.
That is one of the key factors that should motivate you and drive you. When you're in a community or when you're in a group of people, whether you're individual entities that have collaborated to hang around one another and draw from one another, it gives you a sense of accountability. So where you might lay in bed and not want to do nothing, you already told your partner or the person that's in your circle that you was going to do something. And so sometimes that's the motivating factor. They're going to call you, they're going to ask,
Yeah.
they expect you, that in relationships, it's, kind of prevalent, they expect things of you. And so accountability is a big factor. You'd be amazed. Sometimes it eludes us that not only do we let ourselves down, but there's people that are looking up to us or looking at us or depending on us to do certain things. And so when we say, oh, whatever, then, and I hate that word because to me it's saying F you. But when you do that, you're not just letting yourself down, you're letting people down that I see you. I see you, son. I see you. All seasons in the building. um, you're letting other people down who are looking at you, and then what it goes to, and in dealing with accountability, then it goes into credibility. See, when you do what you say and say what you do, because what's going to happen is, again, you let people down often enough, or you're not consistent, then they're not going to be able to take you at face value. Yeah, you said that before. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
It's sad, but it's true, because people can only judge on what they see.
Yeah.
They can only go on what they see. You could talk a good game, but if you are not able to produce what you're saying, it taints your credibility.
Yeah.
Jay, anything you want to jump in on number 7, talking about being part of a community?
Yeah, so being part of a community, I'll say, since I'm like, I haven't been in like the music space in so long, but the community that I built is definitely on standby, waiting for me to drop whatever I'm finna drop. So
That's them
that
calling
also
now.
helped
They calling.
too.
No, I'm just playing.
Legit, no cap, legit. But that helps. Kind of, it's kind of hard to get back in the flow, or like to switch hats or whatever the case may be. So like that definitely helps with the accountability of like, okay, let me go ahead and get this song mixed and get this rolling and do what I need to do. And also like the healing aspect. For a while as an artist, sometimes you can feel like people may not be like as engaged, or they may not, whatever the case, but sometimes that community space is what you need to let you know, like, nah, you're needed. And it's a trusted space, because when it comes to music, it's a lot of critiques, it's a lot of yes man, it's a lot of uncertainties of if you're telling me the truth or not. So that community really keeps you level-headed and like grounded in this weird little space, you feel me? So like it's crucial to build that community, honestly.
For sure.
Yep. Jalen put it in the comments. He said, "Okay, but what if you tried your best to do what your best, but just wasn't able to do it then? As long as you're giving, and you can look yourself in the mirror and look in your face and know that you gave 100%, that's all that you can do. You can only do to the best of your ability. And if that's not good enough for you, then you need to sharpen on those abilities to get them to the level and the standard that you want. Like I said, listen to what people say, but don't care about what they think. You have to be your own critique. You have to be, not that you, let me say it this way, you have to be your own police dog. You have to monitor yourself. You have to be, because other people, yeah, they're going to tell you, but you're the only one that can really make yourself do something. And if you gave it your best and you did not succeed, but your passion tells you that you can succeed, then go back to the drawing board. Take a sabbatical. Take a little bit of time. Ask people, use people as sounding boards. You ever had a person come in and they tell you, hey, I got to talk to you, and this and this and this, and I'm going to do this and this and this, and da, 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 and you ain't said a mumbling word. And then they're like, all right, thanks, bye. And you're like, okay. They used you as a sounding board to hear themselves talk and bounce it off of people. You should have people surround you that are eager to listen and slow to speak. Hear you out. Let you vent. Sometimes we just need a good shoulder to cry on, if you will. Because, life gets tough. I'm not going to flex. Things happen, and you're doing your best and you're beating yourself up, but that's what the community is there for. Don't shut down. You know what I'm saying? If you need to take a break, if you need to regroup, reanalyze, it's okay. Because, again, you can only do the best of your ability. And if that's not good enough for you, then you're the one that controls whether you get better at it or you go in different directions. All right.
And hold on, because I just want to say to Jalen, because this is something, that particular question is something that, like, conversations Jay and I had, and just feeling like I'm trying to build this community, I'm doing this, And something I would encourage you to just kind of investigate or sit with yourself and ask yourself, what is the storyline you have in your head about building a community? When you go in to try to build one, are you already thinking like, all right, I'm gonna try again, but it probably won't work, or it probably won't do this, or like people aren't gonna show up for this, or people aren't gonna engage in that? Then no matter how much you try, that particular thought process, those energetics are gonna stop you from even being able to get to the people and the community that operate the way that you want them to operate. So the thing that I told her was, instead of allowing it to be, oh, I can't build a community, because anything in life is just like a baby learning to walk. You watched your kids learn to walk. No matter how many times they fell down, they got back up and they tried to figure out how to walk again. So it's figuring out how to look at your future and the community that you want and just visualize that. Fuck the past, fuck what didn't work, fuck who didn't support you, fuck the people that whatever. Literally envision what you want and keep your eyes focused on that, and then you'll start seeing that change come into, oh, this is this person that I connected to. Oh, this person just started following me. Oh, I ran into this person on social media. Okay? So I hope that helps.
True in the building. I see you.
True.
All right. So build your community. Be part of a community. Iron sharpens iron, and you never know. You might be able to glean, because there's nothing new under the sun. To each is given, different ideologies and things of that nature. But you might be able to glean from somebody something that you can incorporate that's going to make you better. Because again, no man is an island. Everybody needs somebody. So number 8. Oh, this is a good one. Spend time with people who inspire you. Spend time with people who inspire you. Find you a mentor. Find you somebody that you look up to. And it's not that when I was growing up, I played basketball. Don't look at me now. I was good back then.
You played good.
But what I did is I watched different players, and if I liked the way when somebody dribbled, or if I liked the way somebody went to the, and I took bits and pieces of different things and I put together, and I put my spin on it and gave it my stilo. And so the same thing with being around people who inspire you. They're going to motivate you. They're going to serve as a motivational tool. And you need people. You don't want people around you that's going to put you down. There's enough of that. You want people that's going to inspire you. And then it says the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That's how small your circle is. If you spend time with people who are positive and purpose-driven, they're likely to inspire you. They have the same mindset. You may even discover your purpose through them. Look beyond your colleagues and family members. Let me say that again. Look beyond. Let me get into my. Look beyond your colleagues and family members, and ask yourself who you choose to spend time with. And we did is blood thicker than water. We talked about that. There's a lot of times that family will make you feel obligated to do this or that or the other, or family will make you feel obligated to give them this or that or the other, and it gets emotionally draining. Family, and not all of us, because I'm guilty of this myself. Some of us don't know how to articulate and express the comprehension so that people can grasp that. So when you're around family, you got to remember, growing up, they knew you as little poo butt, and I'm just throwing it out there. And now here you are, you're established, you're doing things, but in their mindset, all they can remember is how you used to be. And oh, look at you now, you think you all that. So you got to be around people that are going to inspire you and motivate you to do that. It's not saying that you can't have a relationship with your family, but again, there's and my son is in the chat. He'll tell you, time and place. There's a time and a place for everything. When you're putting that puzzle piece together, that puzzle piece may not fit there. It fits over here. Just because it was blue doesn't mean it goes in where this one blue section is. It can go in the other blue section. I'm just talking. But surround yourself with people that you choose to spend time with that are going to inspire you. And then it says, evaluate those relationships and make sure you're surrounding yourself with aspirational, positive people who lift you up. I'm sure everybody in their life, in under the sound of my voice, everybody that's tuned in got that one person that they love them to death, but boy, look at him. When they see him coming, oh Lord, here they come. And sometimes when you're trying to do something and they're not being inspirational, it could be a deterrent, it could be a distraction, it could be draining. And it's not that you don't love them, but you're trying to go somewhere, you're trying to do something. It's like the little kids and mama baking the cake and they keep running in the kitchen. Mom, is it done yet? Mom, can I lick the bowl? You love the kids, pretty soon you're like, eat the whole, just and it distracts you. So you got to surround yourself by people that are inspirational. And that's what I admire about you two. You're tough on one another. From the short time I've known you, you're tough on one another, but you also inspire one another. And that's a great thing. If I'm wrong, say I'm wrong, or like y'all say, put a 1 in the chat if you believe.
Yeah, no, I'm really intrigued. Definitely put a 1 in the chat if you guys see that too, because I'm very, very intrigued in that. But I 10 out of 10 agree. We are very, very hard on each other. We give a lot of constructive criticism. But we also are very, like, I'm inspired by her. She's inspired by me. We motivate each other. And we'll support each other through anything. And one thing I want to say about following people or like being around people that inspire you, something I also had to learn was to remove myself from people that make me feel insecure, that make me jealous. That doesn't mean that I'm going to remove myself from them for forever. But if I'm not in a position to either ask them, hey, how are you doing what you're doing so I can learn from you because I'm inspired by this, I'm only in a position that's making me feel like insecure and it's making me stop taking action. I've learned to unfollow those people or create a distance between me and those people for a time being. And I think that's equally as important as surrounding yourself with people that inspire you.
I oftentimes say, if you're not part of the solution, don't be part of the problem. If you're not going to benefit me to get where I'm going, please don't hinder me from getting there. And you may not want to go where I'm at. Well, get off the bus on your stop. I got another stop. I'm on a mission. And it's not that, hey, I'll see, it's not that you don't want to deal with them like you say. It's just, look, I'll see you later, And then from the flip side of that, learn to respect people's boundaries.
Please.
You know what I'm saying? And know your position in different people's lives, because it'll help you have less drama. It'll help you have less conflict. When you know your role, as the Rock said, know your role and shut your mouth, as the Rock used to say. But it'll help you know your role, and then it'll also help you know when you can be that solution. When you can, some people are comforting in one way, some people are comforting in another way. But know your position, know how to deal with people, and your actions overall. If they really love you like they say, they'll understand that. See, love is a funny word, because people say they love you, but they don't always want the best for you. They love you as long as they can get or actually it says they don't love you, they love you, they love what you could do for them. Yep. So it's not you, they love what you can do for them. And so you got to separate that from other people. When you're out here doing your purpose, it's like on a net, like fishing with a net. When you fish with a net, you get all kind of stuff in the net. And you pick out what's good and you pick out what's bad. Yeah. When you're fishing with a pole and a line, you're looking for one particular type thing. But you have to keep your guard up, and you have to know that everybody that's around you is not good for you. Like they said, everything that look good to you ain't good for you. So spend time with people who inspire you. Iron sharpens iron. They're gonna push you. And then the next one, and it's funny because we're in the electronic era now, but number 9, it says to read. To find your purpose, you need to read. One of the best ways to expand your mental horizons is through reading fiction. Reading, what they say, oh golly, I can't think of the name now. Eddie Griffin. I think that's, the comedian, his name Eddie Griffin. Yeah, he said reading is fun to mental. It's fun to mental. And when I was younger and I used to read, I would be able to read something for sake of reading it, but then there was times that you read to comprehend. Yep. You read to understand. and you need to block out outside attractions so that you can sink into the paper like ink. If I can borrow a quote from Rakim's phrases, you need to get inside of what you're reading so that you can understand it. Fiction, nonfiction books are useful for acquiring knowledge on certain subjects, but research suggests that reading fiction may have more benefits. Reading fiction improves your empathy and critical and creative thinking. It improves your empathy. You read books and you understand what other people are going through, then here comes a deeper understanding. And then you get knowledge. There's so much out there. Now people are lazy, everything. They want to Google everything. Google, what is it? Hey Siri, what about da? So, but I didn't want to say that too loud so my phone wouldn't go.
Like, relax, Siri's gonna come for you.
Alexa, how about that? I don't have Alexa. Alexa. But read. You are in technology, you are an empty hard drive with no software. Your software comes from the knowledge that you put in. So the more knowledge you feed yourself, you may not need it right then and there, but when the time comes, you'll be able to push that button and the file will come up. It's better to have that file stored away and have access to it when you need it than to not have the file. And then when you go to hit search, it says no record found. Now you're stuck. So read. You put yourself in the shoes of a character. Imagine how you would react in that situation. Reading also connects you to other people across time, place, and cultures. When you read, you find out, hey, why do I do such a thing? You do some research and you say, oh, that's why. And so there's so much to learn. There's so much information out there. What my recommendation would be is to read things that are in your realm of what you're trying to do and gain knowledge of that. There's a lot of people that will get the instruction booklet and they'll throw it away. Christmas time, it's coming up. They'll get the bike, I got this. And they put the bike together and then they got 4 bolts, 3 screws. And what's those extra pieces? You didn't read the manual. Every piece serves a purpose. Oh my God. I'm going to say that again. Every piece serves a purpose. They wouldn't put it in the box if you didn't need it. They might give you 1 or 2 extra this or that, but every piece has a purpose. And if it's not connected properly, it may function, but not to the best of its ability. Read. Am I going too fast? Am I talking too much? I don't know. It was the second cup of coffee.
He said it's the second cup of coffee.
Yeah.
No, 10 out of 10 agreed. I think reading is something that people don't do often enough. And I'm not saying that you have to pick up a book. If you're going to listen to an audio book, whatever, sometimes even it's getting into like movies or shows or something. But keeping your imagination alive, I think is a very, very like a critical and important part, not only of healing in adulthood, but especially of like finding your purpose and walking in your passion as a creative entrepreneur.
Exactly. Turn off the TV to, broaden your horizon. Look at documentaries. Look at the History Channel. Look at things that, you wonder why things are a certain way. Learn how to dissect. Turn the caption. Yeah. I used to do that. And it's funny because I was in Mexico back in 2013. I was working with a company. They sent me over there to train some people, and everything was in Spanish on TV. So I had to put the subtitles on. Not that I don't speak Spanish, but you get around some real Spanish people, and boy, they like on crack. You're like, I got hola. You lost me after hola. That's all I know. But take time. Learn any kind of way. If it's audio books, that's fine. I listen to, and this is just me, I listen to scriptures on my way to work. I play scriptures so I can get that in my spirit. If I'm dealing in a certain area, then I will ascertain information that's going to help me in that area. And then there's times I'll just venture out and I'll do a research on certain things. It'll help you understand the things in life as well, things that are going on like over in Israel and things like that. When you do a history check and you start digging into it, it kind of gives you more insight.
Yeah.
So read. Okay. Ba-dum. It also helps you activate the sense of connectedness that generates a sense of purpose in life. The more you read, the more knowledge you ascertain, the better you are equipped. You're equipping yourself. And
Yeah.
like I said, you're in a war. So you don't want to take a knife to a gunfight. You want to have the nine, you want to have the clip, you want to have your extra bullets, and you're not going to get that if you don't study. Study your enemy, study your opposition, so that you know how they're going to come at you. And that's very important, that you know, don't just go in there, oh, there ain't nothing going to happen to me. You gotta be aware, you know, how, you know, everything that's built, you got to be aware of how it could be unraveled. And so you protect that. If you have a wall and there's a leak in the wall, you're not going to plug the whole wall. You're going to plug the leak. You're going to go where it's leaking and you're going to plug that so that you don't lose whatever it is that you're holding back on the other side. So read helps. Number 10. Jay, I'm sorry. You have anything? Mr. 90 Days, I see you in the building.
Hey, Mr. 90 Days. My only thing is put them subtitles on.
Subtitles, yeah.
That's the most lazy, easiest way you can get into that. I know y'all be looking for little P codes. There you go.
You'd be amazed the simplicity of some things. People used to tell me, "Oh, I want to learn Spanish." I said, "Well, watch Dora the Explorer.
Yeah.
Get hooked on phonics. Watch TV with the sound up and the subtitles,
Yeah.
and learn whatever it is you're going to learn. Take it a little bit at a time. You're not going to get there overnight. Don't set such high expectations of yourself that you think you're going to get there overnight. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day, as the saying goes. So, you know, don't be so hard on yourself as long as you're trying to get there. Okay? If that makes any sense. All right. Number 10, join a cause. Join a cause. We all have a cause that we feel passionately about. Perhaps you have a strong feeling about social justice, animal welfare, or the environment. Fighting for a cause ties together several of the tips mentioned above, including giving back, forming part of a community, doing something that you're passionate about, and surrounding yourself with people who inspire you. When you join a cause, you're hitting all four points in one thing. I mean, don't just like Cedric the Entertainer said, don't be out here all willy-nilly. Have a purpose for your purpose. Join a cause. Find people that are, you know, moving for right and whatever it is that you believe in. If you believe in something, then find other people that are like that. Join the cause, help the movement. If you're passionate about it, you know what I'm saying? Find other people. It's like, you ever seen a bottle of soda that you take out of the, or even a bottle of water you take out the refrigerator and the room is a little hot and you put it there and it starts to sweat, and eventually one little drop starts rolling and then connects with another drop, and then it connects with another drop, and it rolls all the way down. That's how we have to be in life. We have to connect with people going the same way we're going. We have to connect with people that are going to make us enlarge ourselves in what we're doing. And when you join a cause, you're helping other people out. I'm trying to read all of this, these comments.
Nay has me weak though.
What,
She
talk,
said,
yeah.
I will focus so much on the subtitles that I'll forget to look at what's going on in the picture, laughing my ass off. Don't judge me, I'm working on it. Here's the funny part. Me too. But I didn't realize that's what I was doing until you just said that. I thought I was successfully watching the show and reading the subtitles until you just put that in front of my face. And now I realize that I be reading subtitles and probably making my own images in my head, because what?
Yeah, because you start reading and you're not looking at the screen, and then pretty soon it's like, are you looking at the words and you pop up at the screen for a minute and then you go back down? I do that too.
Reading, so that's fine. I'll take the subtitles and I'll make my own visuals. I've always loved reading.
I'd rather I'll wait for the movie.
Nah, I'm a book reader. I will always be a book reader, forever and ever.
She said, I got to go back and look at the show again. Yeah, and then this time you don't have the subtitles on so you can watch the movie. But it's funny because think about way back when they didn't have sound, and movies were just, you know, acting, and they had to convey the message in a way that you would be able to hear it in your mind by watching the thing. So definitely it helps. Join the calls, join the calls. Nay, I know you're not alone. You are not alone.
Look, see?
Yeah,
When
you
you're
just found
honest, you
3 other
find your
people.
people, y'all.
There you
That's the
go.
gem of the moment. When
Yeah.
you are honest, you will find your people. There is nothing under God's green earth that you are experiencing that not at least one other person on this earth has thought about or experienced before.
And honestly speaking, Cozy is a great movie to go ahead. I ain't gonna chat, go ahead. Shameless plug real quick.
All right. What was I gonna say? Okay, so maybe you want to raise money for research in a particular disease or give inner city children access to green spaces. Whatever it is, getting involved with the cause will help you find more purpose in your life. And I think one of the best tools or one of the best motivators is when you think about your upbringing. Again, my whole thing is for the kids. My whole thing is for the children. And so, think about how you felt when you was young. It doesn't hurt to, like say you go out to a park and, you got to be careful because there's so many crazies out there. But even in your own community of people, pour into young people, let the, talk to them, inspire them into pursuing their dreams at an early age so that, you know, they get an opportunity. Give back. There's so many children out here that they don't get love at all, especially at home, and they're just going through life thinking that's the way it's supposed to be, and it's not so much just a kind word, just sharing, giving them a compliment, things like that. You don't know what that does to the morale of an individual. So give back. Again, we talked about one of the main things is giving back, and you get more. The more you give, the more you get, if that makes any sense. All right. 11, practice self-acceptance. Practice self-acceptance. Accepting your limitations can help you be kinder to yourself when things go wrong. And I think that's what Jalen was alluding to. When you are aware of yourself and you know what your limitations is, then you'll know not to be so hard on yourself when you've reached that pinnacle. You can always surpass that pinnacle, but don't be so hard on yourself when you get to that level, because it might be just a little higher for the next level. But if you're giving it your all, you keep trying. For basketball players, not everybody could dunk when they first went out there, but they kept practicing, and eventually they got it, or shooting a shot, or things of that nature. Even in cooking, you follow the recipe, but you didn't follow exact right. But the more you do it, the better you get at it. So practice self-acceptance. Don't be so hard on yourself. We all make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. But instead of beating yourself up about your failures, try to see each setback as an opportunity to grow. You learn a lesson. Now, you can't put 3 eggs in there because it ain't going to come out right. You can't put just, you learn from that. Yeah. And that's knowledge acquired so that you can share that with somebody else. Or the next time you go to do that particular activity, you're not, you'll be aware of that setback. You got to practice self-acceptance. Sometimes, and I've said this before, we're real hard on ourselves. We're our own worst enemy. And that, if not controlled, you have to have a safety valve. You have to know when to let the steam out and just how much, because if not, that pressure will bust pipes and you'll feel defeated and you'll want to give up. And then not only you letting yourself down, but like I said, you're letting other people down. And where it was just a matter of regrouping, my son, Matthew Seasons, he creates pins. He does pins. He got bombers. I mean, he's into hats. He's into a lot of different things. But it wasn't the first draft. Sometimes you got to start back over. You can't get upset that, you go as far as you can, And then when you see that, you come back and you go again, but this time you correct it and you go a little further. And then eventually you get to master that. But don't be so hard on yourself to the extent that you push yourself uh, into a slump is what I'm trying to say. Self-compassion can help you become more self-aware and self-accepting. When you accept all of yourself, you're more likely to give the best of yourself. Your move, no, you're more likely to gain the best of yourself in every situation. This might be at work, with your family, or while you're doing things that you love. This can lead to a greater sense of connection to others and everything you do and give more meaning to your life. People going to make, like I said, people going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. It's not, nothing is perfect. You gotta understand that in times in life, you're going to run into some obstacles. You're going to run into some roadblocks, but that doesn't mean to stop. A hurdler wins the race by jumping over hurdles. Let me say that again. A hurdler wins the race by jumping over the hurdles. Those hurdles are just obstacles in your life. Expect them there. Just condition yourself to know when to jump over that hurdle. And if you don't get it the first time, keep trying till you get over that hurdle, because it's a lesson that you must learn to go to the next level, if that makes any sense. I didn't know it was 9:08, but we're gonna finish. We're gonna finish today. All right. Any input on self-acceptance?
My only thing about self-acceptance is definitely it gives you, what I've been learning lately is how to set goals based on my capacity versus a arbitrary idea that I have in my head or something that I saw on social media or to catch up with somebody else. I set my goal for myself based on what is the capacity that I have in my life right now, understanding that seasons change and my capacity is going to change. And when I allow myself to set goals that way, I'm able to know when I get to the end of whatever I'm trying to do, whether me hitting the goal was because I did the best that I could or there were errors that I needed to fix. It gives me a clearer understanding of what I need to fix to actually achieve the goal versus when I'm trying to attempt something that's outside of my capacity. And what am I going to do to fix that? How am I going to give myself more capacity? So now you're trying to fix a problem that's not solvable. So my thing about self-acceptance is allow your capacity to guide your goals and give yourself grace and self-acceptance about whatever your capacity is at any given moment.
I like to use the concept of an etch-a-sketch for those of you who are too young to remember what an etch-a-sketch is. An etch-a-sketch was like a tablet, and it had two knobs. One knob went up and down, the other one went side to side. And you would move the knobs to create whatever object it was that you wanted to create. But the beautiful thing about the etch-a-sketch was if you made a mistake, all you had to do was shake it, it would erase it, and you can go again. So when you make a mistake in life, just shake yourself a little bit and then go back again. Shake it off. It's not the end. It's not the end. There's a reason why things happen. Everything, like I said, time and place, and everything happens for a reason. Find that reason, and it'll make more sense. As to the next time you go, you'll understand. It's like playing a game. Those of you who play video games, when you get to this first level and then you run into the monster and he kills you because you went left instead of right. But when you reset the game and you get to that place, you're going to go right instead of left because you know what's going to happen. And then you'll be able to beat that level. Then you come to the next level and you'll learn that next level. And that's how you master things in life. I'm just saying. All right. Last but not least, we're a little over time, but that's okay. Take time for self-care. Take time. If you give all of yourself to everybody and you don't take no time for yourself, you're going to burn out. It's like burning a candle at both ends. You're going to burn out. So take time. Self-care comes in many forms, and your version, of self-care is unique to you. Whether you like walking in the forest, practicing some deep breathing, journaling, out of your difficult emotions, whatever your escape is. You know, some people like to listen to music. Some people, you know, they don't, you know, whatever, however you deal with self-care. Some people like to go get a massage. Some people just like to go barefoot and ground themselves with the earth. You know, some people like to be out in the sun. Whatever it is that is going to give you that release, then do that for yourself, and understand that self-care is important, because when our brains are relaxed, that's when they're most creative. I'm gonna let that sink in like Ben Gang. When
Not
our
like Ben Gay.
brains are relaxed, that's when we're the most creative. You got a lot of stuff going on in your mind. It's like sleeping. You ever try to go to sleep with a lot of stuff on your mind? You're restless, you're tossing, you're turning, you can't get no sleep. But when your mind is at peace,
Yeah.
you sleep like a baby, as the terminology goes. You cannot achieve or serve others when you're battling against yourself. If you're no good to yourself, you cannot be any good to others. Have you ever noticed that some of your best ideas come when you're in the shower? Some of your best ideas might be when you're on the throne in the library. I'm just saying it. And that means in the bathroom, taking a boo-boo. That's because our minds are more open and receptive to the flow of ideas than when we're trying to force ourselves to think. Sometimes you just gotta let it go, sit back, relax. It's gonna come to you. Don't force it. If it don't fit, don't force it. Creative thinking comes naturally when our minds are in a state of relaxation. Creative thinking comes naturally when our minds are in a state of relaxation, and it can lead you closer to finding your purpose.
Yeah.
Easy doesn't do it easy. Take your
Self
time. Come on.
and self-care, just like figuring out your purpose or your passion, especially in this world that we live in that didn't really prime us to know what self-care looked like in adulthood, it might take the same level of exploration as discovering your purpose and your passion. Okay, so just because you tried this thing on TikTok that everybody was saying that this is what self-care is, just do this and you'll feel like da-da-da, and it didn't work for you, that doesn't mean self-care doesn't work. It just means that you need to find a different way to care for yourself. And you guys, it doesn't have to be difficult. Anything that makes you feel any level of joy, that's self-care, point blank, period. And teaching yourself to carve out, you can start with just 5 minutes. If that's all you have, start with just 5 minutes. But training yourself to make that a priority puts you in a position, like, imagine cups. If we're all we're all drinking out of a cup or something, do you want to keep taking sip for sip out of my cup? Or do you just want to put your cup under mine and I just keep pouring and you get what's left over, right? If I'm sitting here going back and forth with a drink, that's gonna be really freaking annoying. But that's what we try to do when we're sitting here with these open-hearted people. Like, I just wanna help everybody and I wanna say yes to everybody. So you're taking the last little sip of everything you have and just going back and forth, sip, 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 sip. That's exhausting for everybody involved. Versus if you put some boundaries up and plug all these holes in your little cup and start filling yourself and everything starts overflowing, the people that are supposed to get what they're supposed to get are going to get it. And the people that tell you that you've changed, or they get mad at you for the boundaries that you're setting, the visual that I always keep in mind is those aren't people that want to help you or want to drink with you. Those are people that want to poke holes in your cup and drink for themselves. And those aren't the type of people that you want to help. You want to help people that are willing to help themselves, or you're going to hurt the both of you. So that's why self-care is important, in my opinion.
Givers have to have boundaries because takers don't have any.
Period.
People will use you up, and if you're not careful, they'll use you up so much there won't be anything left for you. Yeah. And it's okay to help people, but you can't be a help to people if you're not helping yourself. Yeah. So it's very, very important that you take time out for self-care. I did say that it was a bonus point. The bonus point for your purpose in trying to find your purpose is to thine own self be true. You could fool a lot of people. You can stick your finger in the eye of a lot of people, but be honest and truthful with yourself. Yeah. You know what you're doing. You know whether you did right or whether you did wrong. It's instilled in you. Be honest with yourself. You know if you're coming short, if you gave it your all. And when you're honest with yourself, you'll hold yourself accountable. And you have to love the person you become, if I could say it like that. You have to love the person that you become. A lot of people hate the person they become because they were so coerced by other people that they was formed into something for somebody else. When you give so much to please other people, then you become what they want. It's okay to help, but that's why I love like Play-Doh. I grew up with Play-Doh. Again, I'm a little older, but with Play-Doh, you could make something. If you didn't like it, you could roll it in a ball and make something else. Um, and you had that control. Don't let people mold you to the point where you're not living for you, you're living for them. And then you're not living your life, you're in a puppet form. You're doing things just to please people. Sometimes you gotta people just, I mean, you gotta do your own thing. And if they like it, they like it. If they don't like it, you know, that's they got to get over that. It's okay to have compassion and be wanting to do things for people, but know when to turn the flow down a little bit, so that you don't give out so much that now you don't have any. So to thine own self be true. We can go on forever and ever and ever. I am elated. I am so honored. I want to thank you to both of you for coming on not only once but twice. I want to give a shout out to again all the people that support, that tuned in, that thought it not robbery. You could have been doing anything Monday night, but you chose to tune in. I want to say thank you personally. Again, Lakai Holmes, get your candle perspective. It smelled pretty good. Get your aura, get your ethos in alignment. Cozy Lifestyles, they have a lot of knowledge to share. There's a wealth of talent there. DM them and they'll tell you how to get on the Zoom. Also, you can go and they're to the point they email you before the show, after the show, during the show. They make sure you know exactly what's going on. B&B crew, thank you so much. Thank you so much. To all of those people that have their opinion, I'm open. You don't have to tune in, but I'm glad that you did. I hope that something was said, that a thought came across your mind that inspired you to be a better person. We can't expect for the world to get better if we don't start with ourselves, if that makes any sense. All right. Who else I got to give? Exotic Pods. Next week, you want to tune in next week. If you have any problems with credit and money make the world go round, as they say, cream, cash rule everything around me, but credit. Next week on the show, I'm going to have two authors of the #1 selling book called Credit Repair. They're going to be on the show. They're going to teach you some things. They're going to share some things with you. Pops is going to sit back and let them take control and get your credit right. And again, it's somebody that I've seen coming up, somebody that I knew. They call me Pops because the objective for Pops Perspective is to give you something that you can take and you can think about, you can contemplate, and hopefully the things that are discussed on this show will make you a better you. Remember, you're the only one that is accountable to yourself. So that being said, again, thank you. We are not going to do a Zoom. Jalen, let me say this: they have plenty of information for you. Cozy, if you will, put your information in the chat so that Jalen can get a hold. He got a couple questions or two to ask you, and
Slide in the DMs.
Tomorrow night, trick or treat, Halloween. First and foremost, be careful out there with your kids and yourself. Again, I come from New York, and there was a time they was putting needles and razor blades and apples and all kind of junk, and it's just gotten worse. So make sure you screen your kids. If you just want a safe place where you can come and have fun and talk about it, Blunts and Bonnets is doing their show at 8 p.m. you want to tune into them so that you can get your laugh on and talk about trick or treating, Halloween. So, and then Thursday, back with Cozy Lifestyle. So we got three of the days out the week. We're working on getting more, a place where people can come, they can learn, they can grow, they can cry, they can laugh. It's available to you. This Pops from Pops Gems. Thank you for tuning in to Pops Perspective.
Hey.
I'm gonna go out on this one. You might know them. Hey.
Don't let the nine, homie, put you out your mind, homie.
Yeah.
Don't let the nine, homie.
Shout out to the Bandits.
Don't let the nine, homie, put you out your mind, homie. Don't let the nine,
ready,
homie,
Ryder?
put you out your mind,
Yeah.
put you out your mind, put you out your mind, homie. Put you out your mind.
D-Say on the beat.
Put you out your mind, put you out your mind.
Hey, I like this shit right here.
Till next week.
I like this shit right here,
Good night, y'all. It's been a vibe as always. Shout out to the Bandits.
Bitch, I put you out your mind like hypnosis. Spitting hot shit, got lyrical halitosis. Infrared beam to help me focus. I'm a D-boy on the low, got blow like explosives. Boom, give me room, no space in here. I keep my money coming back like my face in here. So no saving, blunt stay blazing. All white bricks, something like a Caucasian. Yes, indeed, the money I will follow. Now I make you freeze, have you posing like a model. No remorse, no mercy, no sorrow. Leave these niggas headless and
Call it Sleepy Hollow.
Playing with the heat like Shaquille O'Neal. I aim at you, I ain't talking about that AOL. Got tow truck bullets cause they clearing out the parking lot. Run up on me, line you up like a barbershop.
Once again, this is Pop Gems, Pop's Perspective. I'm Pops. Love, peace, enjoy yourself. We out.
Good night.
Fade to black. Woo!